Many of us don't know what this feels like, so I wanted to make a video to highlight the differences between what a golden child experiences and what everyone else in the family experiences, mostly the scapegoat. The golden child and the scapegoat have very different roles in a narcissistic family system. Today, I'm sharing 5 common scenarios that really turn out to be a proving ground for the unjust, absolutely ridiculously unfair treatment that is given to one child versus the other. If you're new here, first off, welcome. My name's Tanya. I was the scapegoat of my family. I've talked about this in another video. Double standards are required for a narcissist to be a narcissist. They have to believe that they're special, entitled to special treatment. You'll see in this video is that the narcissist can also project those double standards onto other people. Many times, the golden child will be the beneficiary of the double standards in a narcissistic family. So let's get going. First up, grades and achievements. A golden child can expect to be praised and celebrated for things like good grades, achievements, awards, even just participation are going to be celebrated hugely for a golden child by the narcissistic parent and expected to be celebrated by the family. How to know if you're in a narcissistic family system? The scapegoat, or a different child, will be treated completely the opposite. Their awards, achievements, and grades are going to be minimized. It will not be celebrated the same way it is for the golden child. It just never will be. Not only are their grades minimized, but if they get a B or a C or, heaven forbid, a D or an F, it's going to be almost like character assassination for them. Lectures, punishment. The scapegoat is going to have a very different experience with good grades and bad grades than the golden child. If the scapegoat dares to feel any pride over an accomplishment, it will be snuffed out pretty quickly, called grandiose or unwarranted, overblown. The parent does not want the scapegoated child to believe that they are anything but damaged, okay? The interpretation of this is that the golden child is considered a positive reflection of the parent. So they're nurtured and bragged about and praised. The scapegoat, meanwhile, is kept at a distance. The scapegoat essentially absorbs all of the anxiety and self-esteem issues that the narcissist is projecting onto them and will never be given credit for those awards and successes the same way. Number 2, household rules and chores. The golden child receives an insane amount of flexibility when it comes to household rules and chores. You're going to find that a lot of excuses are made for why the golden child doesn't have to do something, doesn't have to fulfill their chores. The narcissistic parent will actually place a lot of value on the golden child's hobbies, extracurricular activities, events, athletics, relaxation time. Everything that the golden child needs or wants is completely called for, and everybody else should then participate in giving that to them. And this is just treated as sort of the norm in the household. Meanwhile, the scapegoat or other children are expected to take on the extra responsibility that the golden child is not. Chores and home responsibilities come before anything that the scapegoated child wants to do, even before their homework, the things that they absolutely have to get done. Sometimes the parent will force the scapegoated child to put housework first. If the scapegoated child is relaxing, they're lazy, incompetent, yada yada. Sometimes a narcissistic parent will actually specifically keep the scapegoated child from enjoying the fruits of their labor or getting to have those events, social times, hobbies. They specifically take that joy away, knowing that it's a control mechanism. Even when the scapegoated child follows every rule, gets all of their chores done, that narcissistic parent is going to swing in and say, oh, you missed a spot, or what took you so long to get that done anyway? You know, that took forever. They're going to find a way to criticize the scapegoated child no matter what. The golden child, if they sweep the floor, you would think that they won a Nobel Prize. That is the difference in how these two roles are treated over the same kinds of things. The interpretation here is that in a narcissistic household, rules and chores are not about fairness. They are mechanisms for control and showing favoritism to certain people. They're not based on anything that makes sense. It's all a power play. If you're finding these valuable, I'd really appreciate you dropping a comment below to let me know if anything resonates with you. Number 3, conflicts and mistakes. For the golden child, their narcissistic parent will make excuses and defend all of their actions, good or bad. If the golden child has done something wrong, chances are it's going to be blamed on someone else. Well, someone provoked them. Or it's going to be defended, saying, well, they have a strong personality, they have high standards, they don't put up with any bullshit. perfect. In fact, their parent will go out of their way to argue with teachers, with peers, with other family members to defend and protect that golden child. Meanwhile, out of the other side of their mouth, they're saying all sorts of bullshit about everybody else. But the narcissistic parent has to uphold this idea of the golden child being special. These are the parents who will go to the director of the school play and say, my kid needs to be in this play, deserves to be in this play. I'm going to complain to the school board. They will do anything to defend and protect their ego and the ego of that child because they're almost one and the same. They're going to protect that child the same way they protect themselves. For the scapegoated child, needless to say, all of these kinds of mistakes and conflicts are approached totally different. They are going to be held over that child's head for a very long time. After a conflict, they're probably going to be blamed for whatever happened. Well, what did you do wrong? Well, you must have done something to deserve it. I know how you can be. Unless it somehow is a threat to the parent's ego, the parent is not going to stand up for them. When a scapegoat messes up, it can trigger rage, resentment, silent treatments, punishment. The scapegoat is expected to apologize profusely, to carry shame with them for that one mistake for a very long time. And then the narcissistic parent is banking on the fact that they'll be able to pull it out of their pocket anytime they want to induce shame and guilt in that child. It's quite the setup. The interpretation here is that the golden child is a reflection of the parent. The parent is perfect in every way, so too is the child. There can be no other option for them. They will never be able to admit that that child is anything but perfect because in their mind that child represents them. Meanwhile, the scapegoat is assigned essentially like permanent fault for all the things. For all of eternity, that scapegoated child is going to be expected to carry the guilt and shame and blame for whatever the narcissistic parent has decided is theirs. It's really nuts. I mean, it's been 30 years, Ma. Maybe you should get a hobby and stop thinking about what happened so long ago. How pathetic are you? Move on. Number 4, birthdays, holidays, and gifts. Now, this is a very sensitive topic for some of us. Let me know in the comments below if you can relate to this. For special events and birthdays and holidays, the golden child is going to receive expensive gifts, thoughtful gifts. They'll get the newest game console. They'll get concert tickets. They'll get a new car. The birthday of the golden child is going to be perfect. They're the ones that are going to get the pony and the bounce house. These events are a way for the narcissistic parent to show the outsized value of that person, and it's through the resources that they spend on them. They'll even get better wrapping paper. It's dripping in favoritism. In these same situations, the scapegoated child will get the bare necessities: new socks, an ugly sweater, a new alarm clock because of that time you slept in like 3 months ago, an oil change for your car, something that points out that you're irresponsible, undeserving, needing assistance or guidance in some way. The interpretation here is that resources within the family are tracking someone's value, someone's worth. They're not trying to elicit joy in their child. The narcissistic parent is using those events as an opportunity to show who is worth more, who deserves what they want, and who doesn't. It's very loaded, but I'm sitting here with a smile on my face because I realize how ridiculous these people are. It's so obvious. The last one, number 5, is emotional support and encouragement. And this, I believe, is a really important one because it goes on for the rest of our lives. The golden child's emotions are completely acknowledged and validated, and the narcissistic parent will demand that other people coddle and validate the golden child as well. The dreams, goals, hopes, plans of the golden child are hyped. They are the coolest thing ever. The parent is so excited for them, and they will tell everybody they know about this awesome thing that their child is doing, the golden child. They receive support and encouragement for anything that promotes or boosts the self-image of the narcissist. The golden child can really do no wrong, and they might even be celebrated for like wicked or criminal behavior at some points. The narcissistic parent absolutely cannot admit to themselves if that child is not doing the right thing. The scapegoated child receives the opposite of this. When it comes to emotional support and encouragement for a scapegoated child, there will be very little, if anything at all. In fact, they're more likely to receive apathy or discouragement for their hopes and dreams. It's never going to go well. And so a lot of scapegoated children just stop talking about their emotions and stop expecting anything from their parent. And it is such a stark contrast. It's unbelievable. It is such a double standard. It's crazy. So if the scapegoat has emotions about something, they're probably dramatic and overblown. The goals and dreams of the scapegoat are going to be picked apart, criticized, discouraged, questioned. It might even be presented as concern because they're so worried about the scapegoated child. Even if the scapegoated child achieves their goals and has success, it will never be acknowledged properly or genuinely by their parent or possibly by anyone else in their family because of all the damage done. And unfortunately, that success, if it's shared, will probably come with a lot of trash talking and invalidation behind their backs. A lot of scapegoats aren't able to overcome this fake narrative that their narcissistic parent has created for them. A lot of children go on to not accomplish their goals, to self-sabotage. They continue to doubt themselves and to believe what that narcissistic parent has buried into their minds. It can essentially affect their entire lives. And unfortunately, this furthers the parent's narrative that that child was never going to be successful to begin with. The interpretation here, if a golden child has a success, it is a huge win for everybody in the family. The narcissist sees it as a win for themselves too. The same situation for a scapegoat will look so different. Their successes will be minimized, they'll be discounted, they'll be thrown away. They'll do anything to keep that child at a low status, a low level of confidence. Because here's the thing, if the narcissistic parent admits to themselves and the world that their scapegoated child has succeeded, what does that mean about all of the terrible things the narcissist has said about that child? It means they're wrong. They can't admit they're wrong. So of course they're going to overblow every negative thing. I was right, they were the problem. See, they're the problem. Obviously, they're the problem. I'm not the problem. They will just live their lives lying to themselves and everybody around them every single day to support this false narrative. What rational, normal adult is willing to hold their own child back to support a long-standing fake narrative? Only a narcissist. I'm just going to say it. They're pathetic and stupid. They make terrible decisions. They have terrible judgments. I'm going to tell a little story because this stood out to me as a good example. A close friend of mine started his own business at age 16. He built that business while going to school full-time, finished college, was working a service job, supporting himself, and he built that business into a successful business over the next 20 years. From day one, his parents discouraged him. They told him it was risky. They told him they were worried about him, that he would not be able to make it as an entrepreneur, telling him he should get a regular job for security. His success in the business was minimized systematically over time to where he stopped even talking about it at all. Years later, he lands a huge contract, life-changing contract. His mother can't even congratulate him. His father says, well, money isn't everything. This is a perfect example of how narcissistic, nasty parents will treat one child so terribly, be so discouraging, so negative, so hurtful. And then the moment that child proves them wrong, they're gone with the wind because they were wrong all along and they're terrible parents. Meanwhile, his golden child sibling is celebrated for everything that happens, never put down for any of the mistakes they've made. It's really ironic and really almost comedic when you look at the pattern of behavior. Come on, guys. You're really just going to completely oppress one of your children? Why? Oh, because he is the punching bag for you. I get it now. Okay. Great work. Great work. Aren't you so glad that you had children? You are ignorant. You are pathetic, you are petty, and you can't admit that you are fucking wrong. Here are the patterns that we have to remember. Consistency equals character. However someone acts consistently over time indicates their true character underneath. Words are unreliable with a narcissist. Number 2, feedback equals function. Take a close look at how a narcissistic parent gives feedback to each child. Look for the patterns in positive feedback and critical feedback. Number 3, accountability equals reality. Pay attention to who gets held accountable for what. Do consequences sort of bounce off of one person while always sticking on someone else? Is one person held to these really high standards, but the other person is given a free pass over and over again? Or short-term accountability that doesn't last? These patterns are actually pretty hard to miss once you start looking for them, and they say so much about the parent in charge. Final thoughts: faulty people have faulty judgments. If you experienced anything that I've described here today, your parent might actually be a terrible judge of character, value, and potential. Terrible. Like actually terrible. So you can officially let go of whatever bullshit they've been spouting to you for your entire life. Just like you wouldn't trust a criminal to advise you on finances, you should not trust a narcissist to advise you on anything at all. They give terrible advice because it's all based on them. And our lives really should not involve their judgments at all. Truly. We need to let that go. Magical, magical thinking on the part of a narcissist who desperately wants to believe that they are the end-all be-all, second coming, like most special person in the world. They're so twisted and biased and illogical. For safety reasons, I highly advise do not listen to them. So what's next? I highly recommend making a list of the experiences you've had, what the alternative could have been, how you would have handled it as a parent. I really appreciate you tuning in. I'd love to know if you're here. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon.